welcome to the garden. In today's video we're going to plant some garlic. It is November 11th. It's a little overcast. The next few days are going to be some rain, so I just decided to get the garlic into the ground, at least some of it. I don't have the German white garlic that I wanted from a person, but I'll get my music garlic planted and see how much room I have left. So let's get to it. We're going to go through the steps. I'm going to show you the tools that you'll need, which aren't very many, and I'll show you how to get started peeling the garlic off the cloves. Okay, to start, we're going to start right off on top of the compost pile, just so it's a nice tall table. And what we need is our seed garlic. Here's 3 pounds of the music garlic that I grew myself that I'm going to use for seed, and I estimated there's between 90 and 95 cloves in that 3 pounds, but we'll see. The only other tools you're going to need, or at least what I use, is a box. You can see here, just a plain cardboard box. I'll show you why in a minute. A ruler. I just use a ruler. You can use a stick, whatever you want. Just a 12-inch ruler, and I marked off 2 marks. You can see here at 6 inches because I'm going to be planting these at 6 inch on center. And this is how I set up my rows. And then you'll also need some sort of tool to put the garlic in the ground. I just use a screwdriver. I have a piece of tape about 4.5 inches up from the point, and that's how deep I'm going to be planting the garlic, assuming that some of the soil will fall in at the tip. So I'll probably come up and plant them about 5 inches deep. But we'll show you that in the beginning. The first thing we need to do is take the garlic out of the bag and separate it by cloves, and being careful doing that by not taking the paper off each individual clove. So you have to go a little bit slow. I find it easier just to do it right into a cardboard box. Have all your cloves all set. I'm near the compost pile, so I can put all the paper and extra stuff that falls out right into the compost pile. So let's get started. Okay, the hardest part about this is to get the cloves out in one piece. So I've taken some of the biggest garlic that I grew and saved it as seed. And I didn't really do much with it. I just dried it and put it into the bag. And after it was dry and we're ready to plant it, I put it in a cool spot in someone's basement. So we want to carefully take all of these cloves. You see they're pretty good sized garlics. All these cloves off the bulb. So to do that, I just sort of snap the stem to begin with, get some of the paper loose, and then just sort of work my way into the middle of the bulb and gently pull. Now you're not going to do this perfect every time. See, some of the paper did come off this piece, but you just do the best you can do. I try to leave as much paper on there, but if it's really loose like that, I just take it off, throw it in the compost pile. So each bulb you just have to break up, and once you get it open, it's a little bit easier. You can just sort of apply pressure in the middle. And like I said, it's not gonna be perfect. You just do the best you can do. Separate the cloves, try to leave as much paper on as you can. And you just do that until you get the whole clove broken down. Some of them are really tough, there's no doubt. Some of them, when you get the double cloves, it's easier once you get the stem out and you just separate the cloves. Now the reason I took the biggest cloves is that there's some internet dogma out there that the larger bulbs produce bigger garlic the next year. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not even going to test it. It's just a lot of work to set that up and to document it. But we're just going to go off the internet dogma and see if it's true. So these are some of the bigger garlics that I had. I'm not going to say they're the biggest, but some of them do have smaller cloves mixed in with them. Again, you try to leave the paper on, but you're not going to get them all. You see they're pretty good size cloves. So I'll get the rest of these done, and then we'll show you how to plant them. Okay, we have all our garlic peeled. or pulled off the cloves. Sorry, not the cloves, pulled off the bulb. The cloves are off the bulb. And now we're at our garlic bread. Yes, I do want garlic bread, but no, we're at the garlic bed. And you can see this is the very end. Now I'm going to be doing some work over here next spring. So I don't want to start too close to here. So I'm going to come in about a foot. Probably start about right here somewhere. So you can see the distance between. Actually, it is about a foot. And this is how I lay out. So of course the battery in the camera died, but this is how I'm going to lay out the bed first, show you the steps, then I'm going to show you how I go about laying the whole bed out. So I don't want to start right on the edge. I don't want to start right on the edge of the bed because this is going to compact, it'll slide off. I want to start in about 6 inches. So right here. So I'm going to foot in from this side, 6 inches from this side, and then I'm going to plant them at 6 inches on center. Now last year I planted some at 6 inch on center and some on 8 inch on center, and I just like the 6 inch better. So I'm gonna put one here, and then we'll go beyond one there. Then we wanna go 6 inches this way. So first one right here. Then we just sort of lay this parallel. So then we just sort of lay this parallel. We put one here, and then one down here. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to set up the camera, put the garlic on this side. I'll set up the camera and I'll show you how I lay these out. I don't actually put marks with my finger where they go. I actually just lay the bulb down first. Then we'll plant them with the screwdriver. So let me get the camera set up and we'll show you this process. So I think you see the process. You don't need to get transit out and set these up perfectly. You just sort of eyeball it. If they're 6 or 7 inches, 5 to 7 inches, that's no big deal. And you can see I did start to offset this other row because I was getting really close to that fence. And probably what I'll do is plant these that are real close right here a little bit this way. I'll sneak this row down a little bit. So let me set the rest of these up. There's no sense of you watching all that. And then I'll show you how many I've got. So see how close I was to the 90 or 95 when I get done setting these up. So I ended up with 26 rows of 4, and then I had 5 for the last row. So 109. I got 109 bulbs of music garlic laid out to be planted. And the next step is just to plant them, and we'll go through those stages. But first, it's time to play with Caden. Caden, get out of the bed. Ready, go! Across the neighbor's bed, that's always good. And bring it back. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Sit. Stay. Yeah, gotta play with a dog. Anyways, let's get to planting these. So I'll start sort of here in the middle. To plant them, you have your cloves. Let's use this one for an example. So this is where it attached to the base of the garlic. This was the top, right here. So this is the pointy end. We want to plant that like this. Okay? The pointy end, this pointy end right here, goes in the ground like that. So to do that, I just take the screwdriver, and again, I've marked this off. I want to plant them about 4 inches deep. If they're 5 inches deep, I don't care. If they're 3.5 inches deep, I don't care. So somewhere in this 4 inches, now this is marked at 4.5 because some of this is going to fill in. So I just remove the garlic, remember where it was, stick it in, move it around so there's a large hole, and make sure I drop the garlic in nose first, and I push it with my finger all the way to the bottom without damaging it, and I just fill it in. So again, just remove the garlic, use your tool. Now these are big cloves, so it takes a pretty good size hole to get them into the ground deep enough. Cover them up, and I just pat it. So we'll go with this one. This one's a little skinned. We'll see how well it does. You want to mark it's the 4th row in. So we'll see how it does. So again, it's going to go right there. Just put the screwdriver in. Wiggle it around. Make the hole quite large, since this garlic bulb is quite large. Again, pointy end up. I just stick it in with my fingers. Right to the bottom. Cover it up. So again, one more, and we'll go through and do this. So just make the hole larger. And I grab the garlic, pointy end up, put it between these 2 fingers, just like this, and I stick it right down into the ground, protecting the bulb, or the clove, with my fingers as I'm sticking in the ground, and then just covering it up. And just tap it. That's all I do. So I'll set the camera down, and we'll do a little time lapse of all these going in. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? What you doing? Where's your toy? Where's your toy? Bring me your toy. Bring me your toy. Bring it here. Ready, go! all planted. You can see how much life, all those earthworms were coming up as I was moving that ground. And here's one right here just crawling. Because the roots from that buckwheat are being broken down by bacteria and other single cell organisms and other soil life, and that's what the worms are really feasting on. They will ingest some plant material if it's small enough, but mostly they're feeding, passing soil through their gut system and eating all the bacteria and single cell organisms and whatever else they can get out of the soil. And I put that screwdriver at the end because I'm going to put a stake there just to mark that's the last section where I planted garlic. Looks like I can get in 16 more plants if I wanted to. So might put some in somewhere else, but that's how I plant garlic. Now if I had access to good straw, you got a nice, he's walking through the beds. I don't really appreciate that. He's usually pretty good. Generally when there's plants in there he doesn't go into them, but when they're bare he does. If I had some straw, I'd put over the top to protect them a little bit. This is why I don't plant in October, is I don't want them to really start growing, pushing up too much. I planted mine later than Bruce did last year, and his were up almost 2 weeks before mine were. I was getting a little worried, but mine came up nice and strong afterwards, so I didn't have to worry about really cold temperatures in the spring. It probably wouldn't hurt the garlic anyways, but why risk it? So I always plant my garlic here in Zone 5 between Halloween and Thanksgiving when I have a good window. Today's 50s to 60s. It's cloudy, as you can see, and there's rain coming in for the next few days or so. So it's good, it'll settle this down in. If I had more compost, if they do drop off more compost, I might put another 1/2 inch on top of this, but really it's all set. It's ready to grow in the spring. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Probably the next video on garlic will be in the spring when the scapes start coming through, late spring when the scapes start growing. I'll show you how to trim those off, and there'll probably be some pictures in there as the garlic sprouts, snow on top of the garlic, the whole 9 yards that happens to garlic here in central New York. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Time to play with Caden. Caden, you ready to play? Yeah, you ready to play? Okay.